Here we are back at Porsche of Nashua. Welcome, AutoHounders. This is a 1986 911 turbo slant nose, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this today. So today we are driving the 2023 Porsche 718 Cayman. It has a complete custom wrap on it. This is a matte white wrap with the white wheels and the custom painted blue accents on the calipers and around the rims. In addition to that, it's the PDK. So when you look inside it, standard Porsche, it's got the Sport Chrono package on it as well. In addition to that, we're going to look at both the front and the trunk. So the front, again, as with all Porsches, you got a ton of storage in the front. I love a lot of storage. Two overnight bags can definitely go into this, no problem. And click. You can't actually see the engine because the engine is mid-engine on this car. So the engine's right up underneath here. However, you have more storage right here. Can't beat the storage, right? Check that out. That's really cool. I also like this little cross bracing that they have right here. Nice, keep a little bit of rigidity in the frame itself. It comes down and plants in. Has a spoiler that does raise at speed and has the center exhaust. The base model comes with 14-way adjustable seats, standard Cayman, and of course it has your cup holders right here, and they pop right out. And you have a small little glove box right here. Has a little USB port on the inside. On the inside of the dash right here, you also have a little USB port right there. Whole heck of a lot of storage. Great for a nice long journey. You could definitely be comfortable in this car. Has the directional headlights, so they go left and right as you go left and right, so you get a lot more safety. Getting into the car, you have your seat adjustments, which you could store, and you also have your windows and your mirrors. You have the trunk in the front right here, and of course the 18-way adjustable seats. There's of course no room behind the seat because that's your engine. This is my first time in a Cayman. However, this is the 4-cylinder turbo variant. This is the standard infotainment system that comes on the base model car. Here's your car information. It tells you all about the car, how far you could go, the different assistants that you have for parking assist, and you could set some other things on the car, which is neat. So over here, you could also change it to Apple CarPlay or Bluetooth, your satellite radio, and a standard tuner. This does have a CD still with it. Here are your temperature controls, up, down. You also have heated and ventilated seats on both sides. And down here you have a few extra buttons. These extra buttons come standard with this car. It has PASM, it has traction control, the spoiler up and down, the auto off feature, which will shut off, and the sport exhaust, which is right here. This is the 4-cylinder turbo. The 4-cylinder turbo comes with 300 horsepower stock. So that is the base model, 300 horsepower. So it's still plenty quick, and it does rev to 7,500 RPM. Hey Mike, welcome back.
Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome. And thanks again for having me up here at Porsche Nashua. Today you have a real good car in store for me, which is this 2023 Porsche. Is this the Cayman?
It is. It's a 718 Cayman.
Wow. So this is the 4-cylinder turbo. You were telling me it has what, 300 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque?
That's correct.
0 to 60, 4.7 seconds, and the top speed of 172 miles per hour.
That's correct. Yeah, it packs a punch.
So I guess we're going to head up to the stop sign here. Mike, why did we pick this car today?
So the 718 series is hard to come by. We actually sell far less 718s in the United States than 911s, believe it or not. So I figured, you know, while we have one on the lot, actually, let's take one out and you know, see what it can do and show our, you know, viewers at home what the car can do. Lovely. That sounds awesome. And you also noted before we got in the car, it has a Borla exhaust on it. It does, yeah. This car was actually outfitted with an aftermarket Borla exhaust system for a little bit more sound and depth. The car comes standard with Porsche Sport exhaust, which is excellent. The Borla is going to give you a little bit more sound, which you know, more sound is always good.
Yes, it is. Well, it's more throaty, definitely. You know, even than my older one. But this is super throaty, and it's not even in sport mode yet.
Yeah, and I was just going to mention that, Eric, that with the sports cars, especially the cars outfitted with Sport Chrono package, normal is really truly eco mode. So I suggest now putting it into sport mode.
Right.
And not only is it going to drop us down a gear, but this is more of a normal mode. It's not eco. It's not looking for the highest gear, and it's going to give you much more of a sports car performance. Now, when we eventually go to Sport Plus not only does it change the shifting patterns on the PDK dual clutch, but it also changes the engine timing for optimum performance.
Okay.
This car is outfitted with the PDK. If it was a manual, when you go to Sport Plus, it additionally gives you rev matching. And the other thing I always recommend to my clients on the sports cars with the PDK, you know, use the paddles as much as possible. And I know you're very familiar with the paddles, so we don't have to go over that.
Right.
But you know, the sports cars love the paddles. Much more engaging experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do love the pedals on these cars.
Yeah, and the performance is very brisk on these cars. That's the best way to put it. We'll be approaching the highway soon, and you'll see that it gets right up to speed quickly, and efficiently. But what's even more attractive is its road holding capabilities, and the 718 holds the road extremely well, and it's kind of in a class all by itself.
All right, so Mike, we were talking about the exhaust and the outside of the car, but the inside of the car is pretty important too. And these seats, 14-way adjustable, you were telling me?
Yeah, these are the optional 14-way seats, sport seats.
Yeah.
Actually, they're not the sport seats, but so you have lateral support, extra lateral support. You also have leg extension, and you have lumbar support.
Wow. I love the feeling of the seats. Those are super comfortable. And this car comes to life, you were telling me, right around 3,500 to 5,500 RPM?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And I'm going to downshift. Yeah, it lives up to every bit of its expectations. That's amazing. How would you explain it? I don't know. I mean,
so it is turbocharged, and all of the horsepower is available at about 3,000 RPMs.
wow.
So, and that power band kind of levels off and holds its own from 3,000 to 6,000. So you can use all of the power in that range.
That's amazing. Holy goodness. Super responsive on the throttle. Great sound coming out of the exhaust. A lot of people complain, oh, well, it's a 4-cylinder turbo. Mike, I'm sure you've heard this before.
I have.
And I'm going to dispel that by saying, even though I have the 6, I like the sound of this car. And it feels a little bit more crisp than my own car.
And going back to the 4-cylinder, I mean, we've been... Our first sports car was a 4-cylinder,
yep.
And for the first, from 1948 until 1964, that's all we made was 4-cylinder cars.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's a really nice car, really well put together.
Yeah, this is super comfortable, and you could feel it being super tactile, and the athleticism in the car is right at your fingertips always. Like, I don't have any reservations with this car, performance-wise, acceleration-wise, sound-wise. It has all of the boxes checked already, which, if you want to buy a Porsche, this is a nice one to buy. I know you had one of these brand new, am I correct?
I did, yeah. I had a 19 Cayman new manual transmission. I absolutely love the car. I've had several Porsche sports cars, and it well exceeded my expectations, owning the car and driving it, every day.
You know, getting in the car, I was like, okay, this feels really familiar, but the 4-cylinder almost gives it, like you were saying earlier, this really athletic, lighter feel to it.
Yes, it does. And the weight distribution was very well choreographed, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that when you take the squirrelies or when you go into a sharp curve, it inspires a lot of confidence, and you don't feel like the weight is going to the wrong places.
So Mike, you were saying how nimble this car is, and here we're going to come into this beautiful roundabout right here.
So yeah, as you can see, it's video game-like performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry, guys, I'm laughing because it's an unreal feeling. That was super, like, I barely moved my arms and the car just took the corner like a champ.
Yeah.
And the hard left, the hard right, wow. So, driving here on the back roads, Mike, and, we take this road a lot now. And I think, first of all, as a test drive road, you're not going to beat a better one around unless it's a racetrack. This has all the little twisty turnies. It has the the open acceleration of the highway on both front and back. It's a great selling feature for the car. It has
just the right blend of twisties and potholes and hills and everything else.
Oh, without question. And I think being very fortunate to get to drive these cars like this and enjoy it and understand what a special car this one really is. And we drive a lot of these, right? And we've been in the Macan, we've been in the Cayenne, and the Taycan. They're all great cars, but each one has its own individual personality. The personality of this car it's fun.
It is. It puts a smile on anybody's face. I mean, when I owned mine, I had, car enthusiast friends of mine drive the car, and no matter what your preference is when it comes to cars, no one can drive this car and not leave with a big smile on their face. Now here's a good 90 degree. Take this a little hot and you'll see, I mean, just
no roll, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, it was literally like we're on rails.
Yeah.
I hate to use that term because it's overused, but that was legit.
You could equate this back to the old British sports cars, which we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just so intuitive to drive, and I have a smile on my face ear to ear right now, and I'm thrilled with this car. I think that if you're looking for a nice, fun sports car, goodness.
We'll talk a little bit too about the suspension, Eric.
Yeah.
Back there we did hit a few rough patches, and the suspension is very well designed and put together, and we never bottomed out. You never heard any hard clanking noises.
Yeah. So
it takes the New England roads especially very well. I've driven the car in the Boston area, which is notorious for their bad roads, and it still offers a smooth, supple ride that takes the bad bumps really well, and that's a hard thing to do in a car like this.
I definitely feel that it's very inspiring to drive it. And in case you're all wondering as you're watching, yes, we're going slow on a corner because there's somebody in front of us, but we're gonna maybe open it up just a little bit once we get past this Jeep to see the actual power that this car truly has. So I'm just gonna click it down, and that's not full throttle either. That's just a nice solid pull, and it's super athletic, and it's so comfortable, and it's so easy to drive, and again, fun. And when you're buying a sports car, you've got to go to Porsche Nashua. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. If you like this type of content, please make sure you like, you comment, and you subscribe. And remember, it's about the drive.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.